How are you?
Hi everyone!
Hello, welcome to episode 2, season 2
of The Fab Life with Deb and Ryan.
So, we thank you for tuning in again with us and hope that you will continue to do throughout season 2. Of course, as always, you know Deb and I, we love our housewives, and we will begin again with, but new, the Beverly Hills Housewives.
Yes.
Deb, update us.
Well, I was very impressed, first of all. The first episode began with all of the housewives, except for Taylor, gathering at Adrian's home and talking about how badly they felt about Russell's suicide.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, but you know, it was very, very sad at the same time. Kyle said something quite profound. She said, you know, a lot of women leave their husbands and get divorced, but they don't go and commit suicide. Yeah. But, you know, I don't really think it was the divorce. I think now that it's come out, his financial situation was pretty bad, so, and he became very depressed, just over everything. It was overwhelming. So, again, you know, we're very, very sorry about this.
Yeah.
But then the housewives, the premiere episode went on, and it was actually quite a good episode. Not so bitchy and hostile amongst all of the women like it had been in New York, like the Housewives of New York and New Jersey.
As we discussed last time.
Right, so it was a little lighter.
Yeah.
Except for the ending part when Adrian, oh my God, her home.
I know, right?
I would give my eye teeth to live in that home. And I want her dining room.
It's a museum.
It's so gorgeous. And her closet. Oh my God.
You know,
she has this glass case as you walk into the closet wing of her house.
Oh, wow.
And she has her wedding dress in this beautiful glass case.
That's something to say about
your marriage. Yes,
I mean,
it is.
Yeah, right? Very proud.
And although she and her husband bicker a lot, and there have been rumors, they're fine.
Yeah.
That's just what they do.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely
As I was telling you earlier,
her.
I think that, you know, Adrienne is somebody who doesn't come across as pompous at all. No. She is so down to earth, such a peacemaker. And yet she may be the richest, I don't know, but she certainly has a lot of money and very successful, but very humble at the same time.
Yes, well, Taylor was the center of drama at the end when Adrian had this dinner party and invited everyone. And so anyway, Lisa Vanderkamp and her husband were there. And they were all talking about husbands and wives going to therapy together if their marriage was falling apart, etc., etc. And then Lisa said, oh, well, my husband would never go to therapy. And he said, well, no. And he's British, stiff upper lip and all that. And he said, well, no, I would never go because I would feel weak. Well, this offended Taylor, and she ran off to the bathroom and was crying with Kyle, and then came back and finally, you know, said, oh, you know, I was offended, blah, 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 blah. Well, Lisa Vanderkamp was not having, I love her.
Yeah.
She wasn't having any of this drama. So she said to her husband, I think it's time to go. I have to pick up someone from the airport. Bye. So it was actually. But anyway, the whole thing was done in very, very good taste. You know, and I didn't see anything untoward.
Something about the Beverly Hills Housewives that I think we saw in the first season, and it sounds like we're seeing it in the second season. What they do that New York doesn't is that oftentimes they leave.
Yes.
I mean, we saw the whole Camille party, and that was a disaster from last season, right? But most times, you see Lisa or Adrian, if they don't like it, they remove themselves. If they feel like they're going, you know, Which is maybe something that the New York housewives should learn to do, like Ramona and Jill.
Well,
instead
of
of like
them.
Yelling and causing huge
Speaking of the New York housewives, what about Bethany Frankel?
Oh.
She's being, first of all, her Skinny Girl margaritas, the Whole Foods stores Incorporated or whatever, took them off their shelves because they discovered, apparently it was advertised as all natural ingredients, and then they found some ingredient that wasn't natural, supposedly, and took it off the shelves, and now they're being sued by another guy. It's crazy. I really feel badly for her.
Yeah.
Although I did, and I mean, I always loved Bethany because she was such a go-getter. But quite frankly, I tried Skinny Girl margaritas this summer.
Did you really?
One taste was enough. It just had a really terrible aftertaste. I'm sorry. It just wasn't that great.
Really? Do you think it is the natural? I mean, other than the one ingredient, do you think it is the natural ingredient?
It's too sour.
Oh.
I mean, you expect it to be a little sour.
Oh, sure, it's a margarita.
Yeah, but I mean, Jose Cuervo is better. I'm sorry.
Devin Dorset.
Here we go.
Interesting.
But anyway.
So Bethany Frank, well,
yeah,
when you're doing well, everybody's out to get you.
That's the thing in America. We love to see build people up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Oh,
make them heroic and wealthy.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they get that $200 million, let's kill them.
Yeah, let's get their money,
It's terrible.
Well,
it's just terrible.
So as we're describing, people are alligators. People are vicious
People are
monsters.
alligators. I don't know if this is going to read, but there was a 21-foot alligator that they caught in the Philippines.
Yes.
Oh my God.
A monster. Something from prehistoric times.
I know. Call it the nuclear alligator. Swimming in the seas off the Philippines. Maybe some of that, nuclear stuff.
If Sarah Palin didn't believe in dinosaurs before, maybe
she's going to believe in them now. Oh my God!
Unbelievable, right? So, but Deb, you were telling me like the story, the admirable story behind.
Yes.
Other than just an alligator being caught.
Yes.
Tell us about this. In the Philippines.
Well, it's so wonderful because, the people in the Philippines are very, very poor.
Absolutely.
And so what they decided to do with this huge monster is they have put it in this area and are creating a kind of a zoo or a park.
Yeah.
And the alligator is going to be the star of the park. So they can actually make money out of this.
Yeah.
Okay? Of course, I don't know what they're going to feed it. I mean, how do you feed something that's 21 feet long and weighs like 2 tons? Okay?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
I just hope that they don't revert to human sacrifice. Here, we don't like you. Lunch for the alligator.
Or I wonder if some animal activists will come in. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe we'll stay up to date with that. I'm sure
that sure would make a lot of nice alligator purses, wouldn't it? I'm sorry.
Obviously,
alligator shoes.
Obviously, she does not endorse PETA.
Purses.
Well, I heard alligator tail is delicious to eat. Have you had it?
It's too early in the morning to talk about eating alligator. Eating alligator?
Yeah, alligator
I bet it
tail.
Tastes like chicken.
That's
everything tastes like chicken.
I heard
that's
somewhere
not
in Toledo
chicken.
serves alligator tail. I want to try it. I'm up for trying
somewhere in Toledo.
Yes.
Where do they get the alligators from?
I don't know. It's probably artificial.
Oh, probably
artificial alligator.
Faux alligator. Faux alligator food.
Well, they also make alligator skin cowboy boots. I might get a pair of those.
I once owned, actually it had been my mother's.
Oh.
I had a real crocodile purse.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, and it had the head and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and when I wore it, I always think, it was going to leap out and, bite me or something.
Or bite those people that didn't.
Yes.
Were not nice.
But anyway, I thought this was a really bizarre story.
Well, we hope the best for the Philippines
and
whenever it comes to the alligator.
Yes. I mean, can you imagine swimming and suddenly this big monster comes out of the water?
No. No,
oh my God.
I read about this, but I did not read it in great detail. Just real quick,
Actually, this reminds me of someone I once met.
Did you catch him or her?
Yes.
How did they catch it? Just very briefly.
Well, I think it was like the whole village.
Absolutely,
they had
probably
ropes
had to be.
and things of this nature.
Oh, God.
Well, they had to catch it because it was killing all these animals.
Sure.
I mean, this could eat a cow.
It's huge.
Anyway, moving on from the alligator.
Well, and so we have a lot of alligators to talk about, and vicious monsters, including our favorite Gaddafi.
Oh my God.
Gaddafi. Is he surrounded? Do we believe it, Deb?
I don't know if I believe it. I mean, there are
so
many divergent stories coming out in the press.
Of course.
Yesterday and today, they say that they do have him surrounded in southern Libya.
Yeah.
And the report that I heard on the news last night, that they've been told to get him dead or alive.
Yeah, I heard that,
So I don't know what's going to happen today.
Yeah.
And then in Syria, I was reading a report about Syria this morning.
Yeah.
Bashar al-Assad's regime, since these demonstrations began months ago, has killed 3,000 of his own people. Tens of thousands have been arrested, and thousands more have lost their homes. This is a dire situation, and yet we're not being as aggressively proactive to remove him as we are Gaddafi. So big question mark, why?
Let me ask you
Syria doesn't have that sweet oil.
No, they don't have that sweet oil. No, they surely don't have that sweet oil. But let me ask you this.
Yes, I don't know if I have the answer, but I'll try.
Yeah, I mean, or just like to initiate discussion. We are approaching election season.
Yes.
Obama's his ratings are horrific right now.
In the tubes.
And our country's not doing well financially.
No.
Do you think that has some play? I mean, going into election season, yet sending troops again, spending more money into a foreign country. Because, I think that is a...
Well, I don't think that we should send our troops into Syria.
You think NATO?
But surely, NATO or the United Nations.
Oh, yeah.
Should begin to intervene in this situation.
Yes. Yeah.
We cannot be the policemen of the world. That's one of the reasons we're broke.
Absolutely.
And plus the fact, President Obama has just made a decision that the leaders in the Pentagon are in complete disagreement with.
Yes.
And that is the drawdown of troops in Iraq to 3,000. Apparently, from what I've read, they say that we shouldn't really go down lower than 10,000. Wow. And I can see why, because, we've built the largest United States embassy in the world in Baghdad.
Correct.
I think we almost need 3,000 troops just to support
it,
and protect our interest just there.
Yeah.
But as far as Syria goes, this is a really tragic situation for the Syrian people.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would think, if I were a leader and, the majority of my people were saying that they wanted to change in the government, I would do one of two things. I would resign, or I would work with them to give them the kind of government that they wanted.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I don't know. A lot of going on in the Middle East, and and also I look at like Eastern Africa, and still issues in Northern Sudan, and
terrible.
And
Somalia.
And China continues to fund them and buy oil, and I just think, I don't know. I guess it's a discussion for another time. But I think I just call, although probably many world leaders are not watching our show, but I just call that people, the world leaders start to think about our morals and ethics. And think about every human life is valuable.
Yes, absolutely. Well, back to President Obama, I think that he has got to do something in order to be reelected. Because his chances of being reelected are getting slimmer and slimmer, except that the Republicans, I mean, who do they have?
Well, I think they have Perry from Texas, the governor from Texas.
He's not going to go over because He's espousing too much religion.
And I would agree. I was going to say he's too religious, but he will bring a lot of attention. He will divert attention.
He will divert attention.
We have Romney. We have Romney.
He's the most solid, I would think, of all the candidates.
Yeah, but who was the man who was the he served for our government in China. I cannot. I just watched him on Piers Morgan tonight, and I thought he. Honestly,
he was very articulate.
Wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And he has a lot of very good points. I mean, I feel like he's a good candidate. He's a very good candidate.
What about Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin? Well, now, if they put Sarah Palin on the ticket, Obama will definitely win. I mean, let's face it, she lost the last election. Why would you put the same person on a different ticket? You will lose the election.
I don't even think she will actually run. I think she's...
Oh, no, she's saying that she just announced that she is going to run. Didn't she?
I think she said she will decide by September.
Oh, please.
See, she keeps people sort of on this, what do they call it, her, like, trail, her... They don't call it a campaign trail, but anyhow, she's keeping media on her because I think she knows how to push the Tea Party and the Republican.
But if they put her on a ticket, the Republicans will lose.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Republicans, if they want to win this election, are going to have to be very savvy. About the dual ticket.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're going to have to be, which I love her, is Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain is so brilliant. She is young. So I think she's like my age, 24, 25, maybe 26. But she is so intelligent, and I don't want to misquote her. So I don't know if she calls herself, she's a neoconservative, but at least she's progressive. She is a conservative Republican, she is progressive. And she has written books, and she's been on The View and all these shows talking about how the Republican Party needs to be more progressive, because right now, young Americans and people from other nationalities and races have a tendency to view the Republican Party as very narrow-minded and conservative in the sense of, narrow-mindedness. I think Meghan McCain is just so brilliant, and I think when you talk about have to be savvy, that's what the Republican Party has to do this election. If they want to win, they have to show some progressiveness.
I'm wondering, when President Obama runs, whether or not he'll be challenged for the ticket by someone else, although I don't know who he'd be challenged by, and whether or not he's going to retain Biden as his vice president.
I don't know. There's a lot of people calling Hillary Clinton to come back.
Oh, yeah. Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney. They're all saying she would have been it.
Republican.
And all I can say is, she told you so.
Yeah.
She told you. But, so I don't know. I don't know if he'll be contended. That will be interesting to see.
Well, I would definitely vote for Hillary Clinton. She has spent, a great deal of her life in government service. And she's one smart cookie. And plus the fact she's been a fabulous Secretary of State. She's one of my heroines. I just admire her so much.
She has done a fantastic job. And what I admire is she has stayed focused through all of this political talk and this backlashing against Obama and all this stuff. She has maintained her focus as Secretary of State. That's what she should do, and that's.
And I love it when she gets in front of the camera and says, "Mohammed Gaddafi, it's time to step down." Okay, I mean, I love her. She's so powerful.
She is.
So moving on.
We talked about our Republican candidates. It will be an interesting election
year
for sure.
Absolutely.
Keep up to date on that.
I just want our economy to improve.
Don't we need it?
Anyway,
it will.
It's going to. We're going to be very, very positive.
Yeah, it will. And so, speaking of money. And stars, we have Dancing with the Stars getting ready to start.
Chaz Bono. Big controversy about him.
Yes, absolutely. The first trans male to appear on the show, and maybe in a lot of celebrity reality shows. I mean, I think there have been a few.
He's the first. He's the very first.
Certainly, I think maybe the first female to male trans man. So props to him. I think he's brave. He is. It's admirable, and hopefully he inspires other people to be themselves. And
I'm sure, though, after all the controversy, he's probably hoping that he gets booted off the first week. But, you know, it was so sad. You know, people can be so mean.
Oh, absolutely.
There were so many hateful comments that I read on so many different sites about him appearing, you know. I mean, he looks like a man, he talks like a man, he walks like a man. He's a man. He's got a beard. I mean, he's a man. So,
well, the important thing is to remember,
people wouldn't be so
we can be whoever we want to be. And if he decides to be a man, respect it. It does not
it doesn't affect my life or your life or anybody else's life.
Absolutely not. And so we can probably guarantee that we'll see Cher at some point, which is always exciting, right?
That's probably one of the reasons they invited Cher on the show, because Cher's going to be in the audience.
Cher will be there at some point, yes. So,
does she look fabulous?
You know, Cher...
Well, I would look fabulous if I went to London. Yeah, right. She spent a whole year in London about, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Oh.
She's a whole year in London having her whole self redone.
Well, all I know is
she looks fabulous.
I've seen pictures online of her Malibu mansion, and if I had a Malibu mansion look like that, you know. So, it's Cher.
Let's not remind ourselves of our abject poverty.
Right.
I mean, when we compare it to people like Cher or Adrienne Malouf or Lisa Vanderkamp, you know, kind of puts you in your place.
Right, absolutely.
You know, like, why didn't I open a restaurant? Why don't I own a hotel? Yeah, right. I should have gone more into business, or, you know. No, I'm happy with my life.
We are.
No
life is perfect, as we know. as we walk to our classrooms and hope to inspire other students.
I know.
But we do.
We do. We try out. We are dedicated to our young people.
That's why we have SAG, right?
We have SAG, yeah. Okay.
So,
don't remind
real
me.
quick, do you recall any of the other Dancing with the Stars contestants? I'm trying to think. Chaz Bono knows the big one.
Oh, yes, George Clooney's ex.
Ah, right.
The Italian model, I forget her name. I mean, he goes through so many women, it's crazy. He's already got a new girlfriend. What is wrong with you, George Clooney?
It's fun, right? He doesn't need to, so...
Yeah, but he's in his 50s.
Doesn't he have his Potbelly Pig? Doesn't he, like... He calls his Potbelly Pig, I think, his best friend.
I mean, I just don't understand it. I guess, well, no, I do. He just wants to be a bachelor.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why. If I was a multi-gazillionaire.
Right.
You know, there was this whole story about this this woman in D.C. who had won the lottery. She had won like $100 million or whatever, and she was being interviewed. And the interviewer said to her, "So what's the first thing you're going to do?" She said, "First thing, the old man goes." Okay. So, I mean, I can understand it. I can understand that. Fabulously rich.
I guess money can replace some things.
Yeah, or someone.
Or someone.
I don't know.
Depending on how you look at it, right?
So, anything else we want to talk about today? Is that it?
I don't think so. Weather's dreary in Toledo. Hopefully it's not wherever you are. Hopefully the sun's out.
I hate the thought of winter coming.
Me too, but I love fall, and I keep thinking to myself, the sky will open and then the leaves will change and it'll be a beautiful fall season.
Well, next week, though, it's going to be in the 80s. It's going to be in the 80s.
Which is
sunny.
People around here are hacking and coughing and season. I'm like, oh great.
I know.
It started. The seasonal allergies and all that stuff.
I know.
But
well,
we will stay fabulous, and you need to as well.
Yes, well, so, you know, thank you so much for tuning in.
Absolutely. And as always.
And as always, Ryan.
Stay fabulous. Bye-bye.